What it do, man? We got Antone White in here, man. Appreciate your time, man. See you rocking at our city gear right there.
Most definitely. Our city credo.
All right, now, I know you were busy, man. I don't want to hold you up too long, but I got a couple things, at least three things I want to ask you, and we can vibe with them as you feel. One, I want to send a big congratulations out to you and your family and your defense team. I know you just had some legal troubles. How was that situation, and how was you able to come out victorious on that one? And not for you to gloat or nothing, but you just went through a hell of a situation. A lot of people don't know how you was able to do it.
Well, more so, man, personally, man, I sit up there and shout out, man, to Brandy Harden. She was my lawyer. She actually sit up there and believed in my innocence. So, man, I salute her, in all respect because she believed in me and my innocence. Normally these lawyers out here, they'll sit up there and deem you guilty until proven innocent. So with her, I respect it. And she saw fit. She enrolled me in her program through the summer with Georgetown and America U students. And, we sit up there and prep more so about my innocence throughout the summer. And, more so from that experience, the results was etched in stone. Not guilty on all verdicts.
Yeah, man, I was kind of impressed with that. I saw you, man, battle that for I'm gonna say a grueling week, and I don't want to take too much time to deal with that. But one of the things that I focus on a lot of time when I'm talking about law and things like that is a lot of people know that I focus on the informants. Now, in a case like yours, there was no informant. That was just an evidence case. So, I think that's a good thing for you not to have any informants involved in that case. But to get to what I'm talking about, we're going to end up jumping into an informant. Now, this is a mega informant that's been running around the D.C. area. We don't have to say his name because I don't want to defame or get into anything that's illegal while we talking about this because I really just want your opinion. But this one particular informant was running around the District of Columbia with all these violence interruptings and these non-profit groups. And, he struck Trey, and everybody talked about it, and people act like they didn't want me to mention it going to it because they thought that I was just rat chasing. But I was really talking about the behavior of someone like that person that got in trouble for a bribery and a bank fraud of their own, and then all of a sudden they say, "Please, please, please, federal government, let me go set somebody up," and they directed the Trey. And then now, just days ago, before me and you having this conversation, they done got Dana McDaniel, the former deputy director of the ones. Man, what's your take on how they are letting these people infiltrate this thing, and then now this person is a known informant, and he's taking down people all over the place? What's
Well,
your thoughts on that, bro?
well, let me speak on Rets per se. I'm not going to speak about Rets and Informer more so on the street code. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes it become mute. It's very argumentative with people who's citizens. Everybody always claims citizens. But from my perspective on Rets, period, they've been crushing us since slavery, since Jim Crow, since the civil rights movement, since mass incarceration. It killed our leaders. You know what I'm saying? It's killed us from having a form of solidarity. And it's like it killed those who actually just like look at the COINTELPRO to more so,
Infiltrate.
yeah, to infiltrate actually all types of groups to outreach and to sit up there on our movement. So it's like I have a thing and I look at like with Trayon, I can't speak so much on Dana issue,
Mm-hmm.
but like Trayon, I'm a little bit biased because Trayon helped delegate it actually my second job since my release over to jail. Trayon is not a criminal, for one. Trayon really is really not a politician. He's a social worker, which I value and I respect his position as the people's champion. And what I'm saying is I feel that it was another situation with Trayon to really deprive us of another leader for our city. So it's like I ask you this question. What crime did he commit? You got to understand as a public servant and me being a constituent, I came out with an idea about prison prevention and seize the senseless violence. I didn't have nobody to believe in me. He believed in me and he actually helped delegate me to get over DC jail. So to look at his situation, and like I said, I don't want to really get into what I do know a little bit of it, because I don't really speak to Trey since this ordeal. Trey went in hibernation, which I feel that as an individual of who he is, he should get head of the story and let his people, who he so-called champion, and his constituents to sit up there and hear his side. because I just want to ask you this question. And you know my story of being arrested for 30 years. I come home with an idea. I need, and under this Title 3 or this Section 3 that I'm hearing so much about and I read a little about, it upwrotes that we have a position of trying to raise businesses with, with the minority, with the community. If I came to you and I say, and you was Trayon, or any councilman who you supposed to be a public servant for the people, and I cut up there and I give you my pitch, my idea, say, hey, I actually want to say I'm an electrician, or I'm a violent interrupter. Can you can you piece the puzzle together? So put me in the right direction to sit up there and uproot my vision, my idea, my outreach, or whatever. You would sit up there and say, yeah, I'm a connect the dots, because that's what public officials are supposed to do. I just don't see the crime in Trayon. What I know a little bit of his case, he didn't break law. This
Right.
guy came up here and trapped that man, and more so, from my understanding, supposed to be a part of somebody in his family. I don't know him, but he's ratting on everybody. And my thing is, he's stripping character, because what they did was, and so much wrote that it's like, what I dislike is how the councilmen actually sit up there and came with a decision. I feel they don't have the jurisprudence to strip that man of his seat as Ward 8 councilman, because they don't have the jurisprudence when, as far as the Constitution, is always set to be like voted from the people. The people elected him.
And reelected him while it was going on.
Exactly. So with that in mind, bruh, it's like I looked at he's getting a bad shape, because for one, in the Fifth Amendment, you got a character, and I wrote about this many times. You got a character of innocent to proven guilty.
You mentioned about he has this character, and this actually is an innate right of innocent to proven guilty. We're gonna use the Constitution as it stands, but I want to ask you a question, and you just made a whole illustration of how he's not a criminal. And I know your background and what you went through in the federal system, right? And you fought the federal system and got a life sentence and ended up doing what you did, right?
Yeah.
Would you advise Trey to go to trial, being as though you're explaining this now? I'm not comparing you and Trey as men, but he got the same skin in the fight now that you had in the skin in the fight when you had to go to trial on your federal case, and even this last case we just talked about. Would you advise him to go to trial?
Well, first and foremost, I feel Trey should go to trial, because he is a people champion. It's like I've been out here for 2.5 years. I haven't seen so many councilmen on the scene of murders. Or I see this man cry when actually I sat at the table with him about people he don't even know. I seen him cry. Like I said, I might be biased, but the point is, when you look at Trey as far as an individual, he's really a social worker, bro. He's really a social worker, and he's about the people. Ain't nobody could take that from him. And you look at any other councilman, you know what I'm saying? Any other councilman, as a constituent, has a right to ask you to delegate them to connect the dots, especially when you're trying to uproot your community. Now, what I'm saying is, this is my belief. I'm not up into certain things, but this so-called informer, this CI who went to Trey, don't know him, don't really know the intricacies of the whole scenario. But he went to Trey for one. What I hear and what I read, all public information. You go to this man and you ask this man to connect the dots. You have an interest of bringing your program or bringing your proposal. And Trey was like, this is what I do. I'm a public servant. I'm a connect A and B. So to better you from your program and better the community. All right.
When any crime, your intent or the defendant's intent is paramount, correct?
True.
So if I'm the Ward 4 council member, hypothetically, I've known someone, specifically, I'm using this analogy in regards to the informant on the case, okay?
All right.
And I've known this
Yeah,
person
that's
and they,
good that we keep them out of it. Cause I
right.
don't want to speak on that man case or anything, bro. So it's like, go ahead with your pitch.
All right, so
That's
this
my
person
problem.
that I know, I get in their car, they car wired up for sound, it's a mobile studio, you can record, they see me, And I get in the car and they present A, B, and C to me. I'm gonna be honest. I'm going towards entrapment, and they present A, B, and C to me, right? And I'm a Ward 4 council member, and they give me a piece of money in an envelope, and it's on camera, and I put it in my pocket. But if I never utilize my official capacity as Ward 4 council member and go into office and champion his cause, have I really been bribed, or did he just hand me a pocket full of cash because he's stupid?
Well, like I say, like when you look at the whole scenario, I can't say like it's no bribery involved in the point. It's like you got to look at it. It's like just say you got kickbacks that I see a lot of time in politics. You got shit up there like I say by being in prison. Prison's run by politics. And what I'm saying is, you look at certain scenarios where you go to a person, like if I ask you a favor now, and I might say, man, Eon, you actually, councilman of Ward 4. And, I got these young guys that I'm really trying to get off the street. I'm trying to develop uh, a clean sweep program that I could give them little jobs to clean the streets, just get them some income. Because, in high school, a lot of people are about fashion. So I come to you, you ward 4 councilman, just the example, and I say, man, could you connect the dots who I could like uproot this program? You know what I'm saying? This is something, it's a grassroots that I'm looking at. Can you help uproot it? And you say, okay, I got that. I'm like, oh, you know what? For doing that, man, let me throw you $5,000. Let me do $10,000. You may say yeah or nay, but you might say, know what? You could do this for me. You could take that $5,000 and give it to my senior citizen program where the fundraisers go there. You could go this because here's the act. This is always done in politics. You got to understand some people get favors and say, hey, I'm going to throw you this whether you want it or not. And you could throw it into your program.
Right.
So you got to understand that is not bribery and to affect what I see. You see what I'm
Okay.
saying? Now, I don't really know the intricacies of the law, the ABC letter and the
Oh,
rule of law, all the way to XYZ. But as a private person who strive to be an entrepreneur,
okay.
you know what I'm saying? Strive, like autonomy means everything to me. So me coming to a person and asking to help me, which I feel as a right as being a constituent, I have that right to any public servant. Any public servant. I don't care what ward they at, to sit up there and aid me to raise the bar of me trying to do for myself and my community.
Yeah.
So my thing is that again, I look at like Trey's situation. I feel that this is another like replica of the COINTELPRO, bro. I feel that it's trying to strip us of our leader, stripping us that because you can't tell me under the Ward 8, that man cried and buried so many people, bro. He buried so many people and funded that. You know what I'm saying? Like I look at that man character. I'm not saying I like I say, I might be speaking from a biased perspective because he done something that no other politician done for me. He helped me get a job.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And I watch his scenario just like I always tell people who when we talk about this, what crime that he broke. Because guess what? Just think of it like this. What you think like this? And I'm not gonna really like put myself in the class. So we're gonna use example A and B, right? A and B sits up there right now and say, no, first let me ask you this. What crime has he broken? Now, what I'm saying, the only reason I feel that this man is charged, because this informer was in a crossroad of his own issues in his own case.
So that's what
Yeah,
we
so
know.
when you look at the thing is, it's the infiltration of the feds or whoever's behind, because I don't know, is it a FBI? But the point when you push forth, he would have never been charged. Just again, just think about this, Eon. Say the feds is out of this. But this dude is mad at Trey and say, know what? I got Trey on camera. I got Trey on a recording that I asked him to um, delegate an introduction to me to any developers to help me with my electric company. And Trey, Trey said, you know what, man, I done that. I know a guy could easily help you and help you with this employment as well as to employ others. And the dude said, you know what, man, Trey, I'm gonna give you some money for it. Trey said, man, hey, you don't need to give me no money because I'm a public servant. This is what I do. Say if he would have took that information to the feds, I believe wholeheartedly the feds would have said, you know what? Excuse my language, get on out of here. He ain't break no law. He's a public servant. You supposed to utilize him to connect these dots for not just for yourself, but for the community. You
Yeah.
see what I'm saying? But the point is, by him being an informer, trying to get out whatever he's trying to get out of, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And being paid to do this to get out of,
Yeah. And instructed.
you see what I'm saying? Being instructed. So
Yeah.
it's like the people need to know that. And then
Yeah.
I'm saying, like, for real, I might be out of pocket because, like I said, I ain't heard from Trey. And my thing is that it's like, I don't want to go into in depth of the little bit of public information that I read on it because it's public information.
Right.
But at the same token, just think of it. You know, I've been told on by the informer that it's some people that I ain't never seen in years who told on me.
Right.
But like I say, he's not a street guy where he been advised to hold your tongue. Like I'm saying, he needs to show like I feel like this with Trey. You know what I'm saying? And he might call me and feel like, man, Tone, this and that. But Trey is a people's champion. Being
Facts.
a people's champion, you need your constituents for one, and the world know you're not a criminal. He's never
Right.
been a criminal. That man cries about every dire situation about his community, about the city. I'm talking about I sit up there and I used to be like, damn, because I lost a lot of sentiments with the 30 years that I've done.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so, like I say, it's like speaking from a criminal aspect about rest. Yes, citizens got a right to try to challenge that.
Right.
But when you see a leader, bro, when you see a leader of the people, a people's champion, you got to look at the components of you crushing our leaders. Our leaders constantly being crushed. If you look at name any, I'm saying you know history, Eon, name any juggernaut of our historians, from Martin Luther King, Malcolm, what crushed them? Huey Newton, Fred Hampton,
Yeah. That
all of
Cointel
them been
program of
infiltrated
informants. Yeah.
by
Fred Hampton.
informers.
Yeah. Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, what makes an informer? A lot of them informers didn't do it under no banner of like no banner of just being straight citizens. They broke
Right.
laws. They got caught with some type of crime.
To my understanding, this hearing that they just did Tuesday or last Tuesday or whenever they did this hearing with Trey and they expelled him. To my understanding, that means that prohibits him from running again. So that means that in the special election, to my understanding, he can't run. So who does Ward 8 and who does the city get behind in that event?
Well, I really can't express because I don't really know more so deep into the politics. But like personally, bro, it's all design. What I feel is a whole design by the system. Because for one, read the Constitution. The board doesn't have the jurisprudence to strip this man of his seat.
Okay.
He was elected by the people, for the people. The people supposed to sit up there and strip them of that.
Okay.
See, our democracy is being channeled through the whole thing. See, the point is that because guess what? What keeps him grounded amongst the Constitution? See, you can't. Some of the things with me, I'm stripped because I'm an ex-felon. So my whole stance would be reversed, like with my gun case. I was guilty off the onset to be proven guilty. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To be proven innocent. Excuse me. I was guilty to be proven innocent. But
Yeah.
to look at Trey, Trey is a people's champion. You got to understand his character. His character doesn't say he's a criminal.
I got you.
Okay, I understand this CI or informer, whatever his name is, blaspheme him and say, hey, I could do this, but guess what? That was his story. That was his story. The only reason I feel that Trey probably talked to him, because what I hear, this dude is really tight with Trey family. He's like a family member to Trey. And see, this is how it's set up. But let's go back to the board. They showing bias because guess what? If you look at Trey, Trey got a good prominence of going far than just being a cancel. You see what I'm saying? So, like with me, I don't want to be a conspiracy theorist, but just seriously, you watch the scenario. They stripping this man of not just his social duties, but they stripping him of a livelihood of income. And I'm saying they don't have the jurisprudence based on the Constitution because guess what they say? Just like all I wrote, and you helped me a lot of times in prison to let me bounce my ideas in my direction when I wrote about the Fifth Amendment.
Facts.
You see what I'm saying? To strip a person of his character of innocence, you either got to sit up there and admit it to the crime or be found guilty of a jury of your peers.
Facts.
And they say that no person should lose the life, liberty, or property without due process of law.
That's right.
See what I'm saying? So look
Facts.
at it, bro. They didn't have the jurisprudence to sit up there and strip this man of his livelihood, of his life.
Right. And for him being, you keep using this term social worker, and I salute you using that term. But to magnify that term, man, man, he is almost like a real live safety line, like a life raft to many people in that part of the community. Because let's keep it gangster, bro. Ward 8 may have some of the most challenging issues that need to be addressed, and we can't have nobody that don't know about them issues come in. You know what I mean?
Hey, trust me, no offense to you. The average person's not gonna go into them neighborhoods without getting an egg thrown at you, like Aunt Glissy threw the egg at you, man. But nah, seriously, bro. Nah, seriously. Anybody's not going into them streets in Ward 8
Right,
and speak about and trying to delegate stop the violence,
right,
delegate, food for the starving,
right,
homes for the homeless. You see what I'm
right,
saying? None of them, you look at it, who actually is structured in that type of disposition.
right.
You see what I'm saying? Ain't nobody can say Trey ain't delegating for that Ward 8.
Yeah, he's stepping.
Just think of it though. All entities of the government, right? I don't care if federal or state or the city like DC. Every entity that I just expressed has a due process. You see what I'm saying? That's why they did establish that, but the jurisprudence and why they didn't delegate it to the people.
Right, right.
You
I
know what I'm
get it.
saying? Why they didn't delegate, when you look at each board member, why they didn't delegate that to the people? The same people who voted this man as our champion of Ward 8.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Because they heard this, that's what I'm saying. They heard the same evidence because guess what? The most important person in the United States is a juror. Read it.
In
This
the
is the jury
country.
was established for. This mock hearing, this mock trial, and found this man to strip him. Because guess what? You can't strip him for his work, his body of work.
Hmm.
You strip his thing for an allegation based on an informer who was already in a position to lose everything that he had.
Yeah, and because that person going to jail or to a camp for some point in time too, they say.
Man, that person, I don't think he gonna never go to jail, man.
Gonna work it all the way off.
He gonna work it all the way off because guess what? Now you get, I don't know this woman Dana to go into her thing, but who does that for the people? Champ, that's what I'm saying. You going to these people trying to strip them of their duties for the people. Because guess what? Because what I heard, you can't even stop the body of work. Her
Can't.
body of work shouldn't be questioned.
They've jumped the gun. DC Council and expelled Trey and violated all these things that you just explained to me and the people. Inshallah, Trey is found not guilty. How does that work? Because
And
they have
see,
already
what you just said, bro. Think about it. They owe that man.
So what would be the what how would that scenario play
That
out?
man's supposed to like sue the city and everything about that. Because here's the thing. That's like defamation of character. You can't defame really a person's character without due process as well. It's the perfect way of sitting up there. They don't have the jurisprudence to do that to this good man. This is all I'm saying. It's like when you look at it like in that nutshell, bro, they don't have the jury. They being premature because all they posted up because they can't question his body of work. Ain't none of them can question his body of work unless it's some underlying hostility or towards him or underlying play against his potential or want that chair.
Right.
Because here's the thing: you ain't having a citizen who don't have no burdens of trying to prove to the feds to get out of his case. You don't have a clean citizen say, you know what? I don't like his job. You got a dirty informer who's in a position going to this man. I don't want to get into the perspective of street creed and the street code
Right.
about rats because guess what? The citizen's gonna say, hey, I'm a civilian. He had nobody. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Like I always used to tell you when I first came home, when we did that interview. A lot of people didn't tell because they ain't had nobody to tell on. You see what I'm saying? So they didn't have no sit down with these people to negotiate to say, hey, I could tell on him. This dude sit up there and say, hey, I could tell on him. I could tell on that girl, Dana. What's her last name?
McDaniel.
And he told them people, because guess what? These people were sitting in chairs of leadership. So because you have a fresh, that's like me coming to you and I say, Eon, man, I need you, man, to just say, for instance, I came to you and I said, Eon, man, I need you to sit up there and do me a GoFund page. I'll give you a few dollars, man, if that's the case. And you was like, Tone, man, that's what I do for the cause, because I'm really about free to real.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? You got to understand, here's the flip it. This is what I believe in. And this is something that I promised that I wouldn't do, but this is in this case. He was presented from that guy in like he asked to get no money for it. The dude said, I'll give you a few dollars. He said, hey, that's what I do.
Yeah, I mean, so much so that on the third or fourth time, he had to like smooth it out for him to take it.
See, I didn't read it in depth because I'm a type of person that I take things personal and I start begrudging the pages that I was reading.
Right.
So when you look at it though, bro, it's like I can't see how, like if Trey would have came and said, hey, man, give me 30, 40,000 for it. This man presented that to him. So you can show the entrapment. You
Yeah.
can show the entrapment that this dude was actually trying to appease the feds or his agent that Trey was, because guess what? He's not a criminal.
Facts.
That man not a criminal. That man is a social worker. Listen, if we sit up there right now and go to each councilman and I sit up there come at them as a constituent, I got a right to say, you know what? I could command a sit down with them as a constituent.
Which is your right. You know what I mean? That's
You know
what
what I'm
they stand
saying?
for, right? You're supposed
As
to be able to
them
go to their
being,
office, get on their phone.
yeah, because guess what? They work for us. So I sit up there and say, hey, I got a project for the youth. Allow me, or can you delegate me or point me in the right direction to put this vision down for the youth? Because guess what? I can stop the crime. For one, it's gonna actually exemplify them as being, which come from hearing me out for one. Number two, to direct me. Because if it becomes fruitful, they're gonna get the benefit of putting the program down. But if I went to them and they sit up there and say, I said, man, you know what? I got $5,000 to throw to any of your fundraisers for it. If you're a public servant as a social worker, we're not gonna play politics, but as a social worker, what you gonna say? Man, throw that,
Let's
throw that
go.
funds, throw
Let's
that
go.
funds for to feed the homeless, or man, throw them funds to sit up there and that for the show. That's not breaking law. And we killing our leaders. I understand I had to do time, bro, of 30 years because I was in the streets. Streets. But our leaders is being infiltrated. You see what I'm saying? Our leaders is constantly being infiltrated. And so look at it like that on that point that we allowing it. We allowing ourselves to be hoodwinked and bamboozled over and over. You let this man get off. You know what I'm saying? This is why, like, a lot of people disregard Trump and all that, but Trump is not allowing them informers to get away with this.
I like
Because that's
that.
what an informer said anything. An informer can say, you know what? I'm gonna give you something. When I got sentenced, you know what I told? I was young. I told the judge, I said, Your Honor, if I took a picture with you and how the system is set up, and I sit up there and say, you know what? I'm gonna degrade everything that I believe in and become a rat. I said, Your Honor, I could sit up there and tell these people, because I got this picture as proof of our association. You was my supplier. That man put his hands in his nose like a wards and say, hey, you may be speaking the truth there. You see what I'm saying? But you got to understand, perception become reality. And my thing is, I feel that this man is getting a bad rap. I
Yeah.
think he's getting a bad rap.
Overall.
Like I'm saying, it may be personal. I think he's getting a bad rap, and I'm saying, just look at it like this though. This man was charged with one count. That one count come from a rat, an informer trying to get out of his situation. Listen, trying to get out of his situation. And I'm saying, we're not speaking as the streets. Let's speak about a leader, bro. A leader who ain't broke no law. He's a public servant. I would be upset and I feel deprived if I go to any of these social workers or so-called politicians. And I went to them for help to delegate my vision and program to better the city, to better the youth, to retard the stop the violence. Tell me that I don't want to see you. I know you ain't about the people.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I might would go to say, hey, listen, man, I throw some fundraisers for your next campaign. That's not a bribe. I'm trying to help the people. But the point
Gotcha.
is, where's the law was broke at? He didn't break no law.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? And I like, bro, now, don't get me wrong. You know, I don't really like this social media, but man, I'm saying I'm glad that you asked me to speak about that, because sometimes I can't have a good dialogue on this. Because guess
Okay.
what? When I tell the people, anybody I talk to, when after I share my ideas and frame it, what law he broke. Being, listen, I'm saying, being a public servant. What law he broke? This man who's a rat, who told the people, I'ma show you Trey is a criminal. Trey, I got this idea, this proposal. Could you help me? Could you direct me, or can you introduce me, or can you handshake me to anybody? What law he broke, Eon?
Right.
As a public
Definitely.
servant, he said, hey, I'm gonna help you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna help you, not just help you, because your proposal is to help my community, my city. The mayor would have heard that.
Right.
All the councilmen would have heard that, but guess what they'd have been upset about? This man being an agent provocateur.
Right.
He wouldn't have been charged if he wasn't an agent. Ain't nobody who could have went to the feds and say, hey, I got this evidence. They would say, man, no, go ahead. I can't. What he done wrong
Yeah.
there? And
You
see,
know.
that's the thing that we have to look at as a people. We killing our leader that's for the people. We allowing still. This is what I'm saying. We allowing still. Look how we've been stripped from slavery, from Jim Crow, from the civil rights, from mass incarceration. You know what I'm saying? And this era right now, look at it, bro. We constantly stripping our leaders. You know what I'm saying? And then for real, his colleagues supposed to look at his work, regardless on the emotions or the ego, whatever they have against each other. And you supposed to say, oh man, his body of work. That man was voted unanimously against, man.
While it's going on.
That's what I'm saying. Now, are these people going to say to the people, the same people who voted for him, say, hey, if he's found not guilty, we're going to pay him in all types of restitution. Because he
Yeah, that's why
stripped
I asked
them.
you that question about what happens if he found not guilty. I
That's
started
what I'm
thinking down the
saying.
road.
He has a right. to sit up there and foul. Because guess what, though, bro? They stripped him of a responsibility as a father as well. You know what I'm saying? They stripped
Yeah.
this man not just as a leader. I'm not going to just speak on that. They stripped him as being a father. I
That's,
don't know what's going on. This man might have to sit up there. Look how degrading they doing this man. This man might have to file for unemployment.
yeah.
They stripped this man of being a father, a son. Look at all the responsibilities he might have amongst his family.
Yeah. Yeah. What you got to think
Over
about.
allegation of an informer who trying to get out of his situation. And what
Yeah.
I'm saying, the point is, again, I feel that the board didn't have the jurisprudence or it was premature. Because guess what? They supposed to weigh the factors. This man is trying to get out his position.
Gotcha.
They didn't take the fact that this man say, hey, I need no money. That's what I do.
Understood.
You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah.
I
So we.
appreciate it, Eon. And I'm saying, my thing is that, man, we ironed that out. And I know you have a lot of questions. That's why I was telling you, man, we don't need to actually you know how, man, you talk dialogue. For real, you can zoom me in on this because I know you got answers. I don't like to do nothing. I'm not a scripted type individual. I'm a person like to just, because I love dialogue. And like maybe I'm being biased, but man, I salute that man for giving me my job, man. He delegated my job over to jail. That meant something to me.
Yeah, I want to salute Trey too, and I mean, I'm gonna follow up on this. I mean, and I give it some time before I double back with you. You know what I mean? See how it's go, because I'm a follow it, and I don't want to talk too much about the specifics, but I do want to, man, send a whole bunch of prayers and well wishes to the brother, because the brother done a lot for me as well. So I want to thank you. I want to send a big shout out to our city, DC. You know what I mean? I want everybody to go get that gear. I'm sponsored by our
Okay, that's
city,
what's up.
DC,
You
and
still ain't support this one though, ER. You supported all of them. But this is for
I need the
our city
credo.
credo. It's really for all the cities, man. You see, this for all the cities
Yeah,
that I'm
wow.
actually trying to have an outreach for because I believe that the cities could bring us together. And to speak for Trey, Ward 8, start speaking up for this man, man. Y'all losing out on a champion. You know what I'm saying? DC, we losing out on a champion, man. For the people. You know what I'm saying? And for real, the councilman, come on, man, let's speak up for DC. The mayor, let's speak up for DC. Get away from y'all feelings. Y'all know this, man, because guess what? It can happen to y'all.
With that being said, man, I appreciate it, man. Shout out to Trey. Let him know the man we with Trey, man, and the men rocking with Trey, man, and we gonna see what's happening next, man.
All right, man. Thank you.